15 Things You Didn't Know About Charlie Chaplin. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello there, Aluxers, and thank you for joining us for another fun video. Here at Alux, we love to celebrate pioneering and innovative figures in all fields, from science to business to art and entertainment. And today, we have a video about the life of one of the entertainment industry's earliest and most beloved stars, Charlie Chaplin. Born on April 16, 1889, Charles Spencer Chaplin was an English comic, filmmaker, and composer whose work came to define the brilliance of the silent movie era. Becoming known the world over for his on-screen tramp persona, Chaplin is considered to be one of the most important figures in the history of film, enjoying a career that spanned more than 75 years. That's the kind of longevity today's stars could only dream of. Chaplin films like Modern Times, The Kid, City Lights, The Gold Rush, and The Great Dictator have all come known to be regarded as early film classics, with audiences lapping up not only the great man's acting talent, but also his filmmaking skills. So it's lights, camera, action, and on to 15 things you may not have known about Charlie Chaplin. Number 1. He began his performing career as a child. Both of Charlie Chaplin's parents were involved in the entertainment business in Victorian England, so it's no surprise that their son followed in their footsteps from an early age. At 5 years old, he replaced his ill mother at a music hall show, singing his first song, Jack Jones, in front of a large crowd of soldiers. Liking his first taste of the stage life, Chaplin would soon join a juvenile clog dance group, where he worked alongside another entertainment legend, Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. Number 2. He once entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest and lost. One of the more incredible and hilarious anecdotes of Charlie Chaplin's life is that the performer once entered into a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest and lost. The event was held in San Francisco in 1915, and failing to see that the real deal was standing right in front of them, the competition judges only saw fit to award the real Mr. Chaplin with the third prize rosette. Neither the judges nor the audience realized that they were in the presence of true greatness. Number 3. He was the first actor to appear on the cover of Time magazine. Though Time magazine is now renowned for its issue covers, sometimes equally controversial as they are influential, did you know that Charlie Chaplin was actually the first actor to grace the cover? This honor was bestowed onto him on July 6, 1925, and before then, the cover had traditionally been focused on politicians and military personnel as well as high society figures, for example, Republican Theodore Burton, paleontologist Richard Swan Lull, and inventor Thomas Edison. The choice to align Chaplin with these great and powerful men is a testament to the impact he had on society. Number 4. He never won an acting Oscar. Though his name is synonymous for brilliance in early filmmaking and his legend is continued to grow over time, the sad truth is that Charlie Chaplin never won an Academy Award in any of the officially recognized categories. Inside Oscar circles, there were rumors that this was due to a public disdain that he had for the Academy. Chaplin does, however, have 3 non-acting Oscars to his name. In 1929, he picked up an honorary Oscar for versatility and genius in writing, directing, and producing The Circus. A second honorary statuette in 1972 for the incalculable effect he had in making motion pictures the art form of the century, and a third final Oscar in 1973, winning Best Score for the movie Limelight. Number 5. He was worth an estimated $50 million. At the time of his death on Christmas Day, 1977, it is estimated that Charlie Chaplin's net worth was approximately $50 million. That's $207 million in 2017 money. After signing his first contract with Fred Karno and making his first on-screen appearance in the 1914 film Making a Living, Chaplin went on to make the savvy decision to found United Artists, giving him full control over the entirety of his career. A true cinematic powerhouse, Chaplin not only acted, but wrote, directed, composed, and produced the majority of his work. And having that much control in the movie-making industry is bound to bring the dollars flooding in. It's no surprise that for a large period in his peak career, Chaplin was the highest paid performer in the world. Number 6. At his peak, he became richer than the President of the United States. In fact, Chaplin was becoming so wealthy thanks to his business savvy and undeniable talents that he began to make more money than the President of the United States. In 1916, the annual salary for the president, Woodrow Wilson, was $75,000 a year, $1.7 million by today's standards. In almost unbelievable contrast, Chaplin signed a contract with the Mutual Film Corporation of New York in 1916 that increased his annual salary to $670,000 per year. That's the 2017 equivalent of an incredible $15.7 million. Number 7. He was reluctant to introduce talking into his films. We all know Charlie Chaplin is the godfather of silent filmmaking, and his reputation has perhaps partially stuck due to the performer's reluctance to introduce talking and modern sound elements into his films. As the talkies began to take over the movie industry, Chaplin remained stubborn, convinced that using sound would ruin his then latest picture, The Little Tramp. However, Chaplin did eventually start to incorporate some aspects of the new technology into his movies, like city lights and modern times. But 1940's The Great Dictator was the first and only full-sound movie that Charlie Chaplin ever produced. Number 8. He never became a citizen of the United States. Despite having lived in the country for nearly 40 years, Charlie Chaplin never actually became a U.S. citizen. After the release of the film Modern Times, Chaplin started to gain a reputation as being a communist sympathizer, one of the worst accusations a performer could face at the time. In 1952, this escalated to such a degree that the U.S. government actually revoked his permit, and Chaplin was unable to return to America after leaving for a vacation to England. As a result of this, Chaplin decided to move to Switzerland, where he remained for the rest of his life. The only time he ever returned to the United States was to accept his honorary Oscar in 1972. Number 9. He had 4 wives and 11 children. Audiences fell for his charm on screen, and it seems that Charlie Chaplin continued his charming ways in his personal life. Chaplin was married 4 times, each time to women much younger than he. His first marriage was to Mildred Harris in 1918 when he was 29 and she was 16. His second to actress Lita Grey, also 16. His third at the age of 47 to Paulette Goddard, 28. And his fourth and final union to 18-year-old Una O'Neill when he was 54. Charlie and Una had an amazing 8 children together, stayed married until his death in 1977, and his total brood count stands at 11, with 3 other children being born in his first 3 marriages. Number 10. He is credited with saving Disney. Something that you might not hear much about is the fact that Charlie Chaplin is credited with playing a significant role in saving Disney. Before the release of their first feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, in 1937, the story goes that Walt Disney was unsure about the quality of the movie. Recognizing greatness when he saw it, Walt's friend Charlie encouraged him to believe in the project, instilling in him the confidence he needed to be fully committed to the cause. Walt rediscovered his passion. Snow White became a genre-defining hit, and the rest, as they say, is history. If you want to learn more about the great Walt Disney, then click on the top right-hand corner for our dedicated video. Number 11. Audiences were shocked upon learning that he had blue eyes. The main problem with the black and white cinema is that, well, audiences were unable to pick up on all the details that we take for granted in today's Technicolor landscape. During the height of his fame, audiences had always believed that Charlie Chaplin's eyes were a deep brown. Though a seemingly small thing, audiences were so shocked upon discovering that Chaplin's eyes were in fact a piercing blue that it actually made headline news in several different destinations. Number 12. He was great friends with Albert Einstein. Though the two came from completely different worlds, a fun fact is that Charlie Chaplin and legendary scientific mind Albert Einstein were actually the best of friends. The pair reportedly met in 1931 and struck up a strong and long-lasting friendship. Einstein was a guest of honor at the premiere of Chaplin's hit movie City Lights in Los Angeles on February 2, 1931. Number 13. There is an asteroid named in his honor. When people call Charlie Chaplin a star, they're actually being much more accurate than they might think. On October 4, 1981, Russian astronomer Lyudmila Karachkina discovered a main belt asteroid in the night sky. At this time, Charlie Chaplin had already been dead for 4 years, and as a special tribute to one of her favorite performers, she decided to name the asteroid 3623 Chaplin. There aren't many actors that can say they have received such an honor. Number 14. His daughter portrayed his mother in his biopic. In an interesting turn of fate, Geraldine Chaplin, one of the daughters of Charlie and Una O'Neill, played the role of her own grandmother, Hannah Chaplin, in a big screen adaptation of the actor's life. The 1992 film, simply named Chaplin, was directed by Richard Attenborough and featured Robert Downey Jr. as the titular star. The film was a critical success and garnered 3 Oscar nominations, 3 Golden Globe nominations, and 4 BAFTA nominations, with Downey Jr. picking up the BAFTA for Best Actor. Number 15. He didn't receive his star on the Walk of Fame until 1972. As you know, the only time Chaplin ever returned to the United States after his 1952 exile was in 1972 to accept his honorary Academy Award. On this same trip, he was also honored with a long overdue star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The project to bestow that particular honor on Chaplin was set into motion more than 20 years before that, but due to the controversy surrounding his political views, these plans were put on indefinite hold until the occasion thankfully arose just 5 years before his death. Thank you for joining us today, A-Luxers. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the wonderful world of Charlie Chaplin. Are you an old film buff? Do you agree that Charlie Chaplin is one of the all-time greats? Who else from the silent movie film era gets your vote? Let us know down in the comments. And how about one last final fact? Consider it a bonus reward for staying with us all the way to the end. Number 15. He once met Gandhi. Their lives and causes feel like they were a million miles apart, but on September 22, 1931, Charlie Chaplin met Indian pacifist leader and icon Mahatma Gandhi. The pair crossed paths in Canning Town, one of the most poverty-stricken boroughs of London at that time, while Gandhi was visiting England to attend a conference. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.